I could sit here and talk for probably well over 12 hours about what I love about Xenoblade Chronicles X, from the incredible world building to the unreal scale. Of course, there's also the scales and how immersive the game becomes with them. We will have plenty, and I mean plenty, to discuss around these aspects of the game and more in the next few months leading up to Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, but today I want to focus on something different and more analytical, something that isn't necessarily even attached to the content of the game itself. As we know, the Nintendo Switch has received no shortage of Xenoblade content. We've seen 3 major game releases in the form of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This is of course in addition to the 2 major DLC expansions, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna the Golden Country, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Future Redeemed. And that's not even considering things like Pyra and Mithra's inclusion in Smash. For more reasons than one, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition could be the biggest game in the Xenoblade series yet, and it feels like for once, the sky truly is the limit. Welcome to episode 2 of Final Weapon's original Beyond The Conduit series. Let's dive into why Xenoblade Chronicles X could be the most pivotal game in the series yet. There is so much to talk about with this release, with potential gameplay changes, the new story content, and even just seeing this game run on a system that doesn't have 1 GB of RAM. However, that's not what we're here to talk about today. The Xenoblade Chronicles series has reached new heights with every entry on the Nintendo Switch. There are multiple key factors that point to the fact that Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition could be the biggest entry yet. To start, let's journey through the progression of the series on Nintendo Switch. Xenoblade first made an appearance on Switch at the Nintendo Switch Presentation 2017, which revealed the console in full alongside a handful of launch titles. In the midst of the presentation, a trailer showcasing the Monolith Soft logo appeared, opening up to reveal a young boy running through a massive, living environment. Key staff like character designer Masatsugu Saito, composer Yasunori Mitsuda, and executive director Tetsuya Takahashi were revealed, with the trailer closing with a sea of clouds and a lone tree. As the camera panned back, a boy with a red sword appeared, with a massive creature surfacing from the clouds to reveal a title, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That reveal trailer today sits at 2.7 million views on YouTube, with Xenoblade 2's trailers overall sitting comfortably into the 6 and 7 figures. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 released on December 1st, 2017 exclusively for Nintendo Switch, but more awaited on the horizon. In 2018, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country released for Nintendo Switch, acting as a 20-hour DLC prequel to the original game. This concluded 9 months of DLC support, wrapping up the story of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 once and for all. And this was a massive success. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was the first title in the series to surpass 1 million copies sold. Now, before anyone goes to the comments, yes, Xenoblade Chronicles on Wii and Xenoblade Chronicles 3D on 3DS did combine to give Xenoblade Chronicles overall above 1 million copies sold. However, at this point, no individual title had sold over 1 million copies. The release of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 blew past everything that both Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X accomplished on the Wii and Wii U, respectively. The Nintendo Switch had an incredible amount of popularity and interest behind it, and this allowed for Monolith Soft's new title to soar to new heights. The series took a break in 2019 for the most part until the September 2019 Nintendo Direct ended off with a teaser trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, a remastered version of the 2010 Wii title. As the months went on, we learned that a new epilogue campaign titled Future Connected would be bundled in, starring Melia Antiqua as the main character. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition released on May 29, 2020. After just 1 month on the market, the game sold over 1.32 million copies, well over doubling the launch sales of the 2010 release. In 2021, Masahiro Sakurai answered the call of many fans like myself and gave us the reveal of Pyra and Mythra's inclusion in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Even after 4 years, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was getting major recognition again from Nintendo and for one of their biggest IPs. The duo's appearance sparked an incredible amount of interest in the series, further driving fans to experience Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 2020's Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. And finally, 2022 saw both the reveal and release of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on July 29th. Once again, we saw a considerable amount of interest on YouTube, with 2 trailers reaching 1.4 million views and plenty others surpassing 500,000. Similar to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Monolith released an expansion for Xenoblade 3 in the year following release. We saw Future Redeemed, a story bringing the return of characters like Shulk and Rex, release in April 2023. The reveal trailer for this expansion currently sits at 954,000 views, which is substantially more than Torna. And that brings us to the present with Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. After just 5 days, the trailer has already surpassed 1 million views as of recording this in the early morning of Sunday, November 3rd. That alone already puts it close to the Xenoblade Chronicles X reveal trailer from 2013, which currently sits at 1.4 million views. This was released when Xenoblade X was simply known as Monolith's Project X on Wii U. So, what does this all really mean? I threw a bunch of numbers out, but let's look at the data. As we know, Xenoblade Chronicles X is estimated to have sold just over 840,000 copies worldwide on Wii U. This reveal trailer has already surpassed that. I think it's quite easy to tell that the Nintendo Switch release will likely blow past the Wii U's original sales, but what can we expect for a remaster? Xenoblade's fanbase has been growing consistently with each passing year. This series never had an individual title sell above 1 million units until the Nintendo Switch, and every single title released on the platform has sold well over that. As of the latest sales numbers, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has sold over 2.7 million copies, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition has sold over 1.91 million copies, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has sold over 1.91 million copies. This is as of June 2023, so these numbers could be even increased more by now. Just going off of YouTube trailers alone, it seems like Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition might have the most interest for the series yet, and that's absolutely in part due to the overwhelming demand for the game on Switch over the last 7 years. So far, it is far outpacing all previous titles on Switch in terms of views, including Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, another remaster for the series. In the years leading up to this announcement, there was a significant outcry from fans about porting this title from Wii U. By 2021, we'd seen almost every single major Wii U game brought over to Switch in some form. This includes Mario Kart 8, Bayonetta 2, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, New Super Mario Bros. U, Pikmin 3, Super Mario 3D World, and so many more. Even niche picks like Tokyo Mirage Sessions made the jump, which left Xenoblade Chronicles X to sit all alone. With fans still discussing hopes for a port throughout 2024 before the reveal of X Definitive Edition, it's not unlikely to think that some Nintendo fans might have got exposure to the title from viewing the many requests online. Let's switch gears from the data and talk about another reason why Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is set up for massive success, and that's mass appeal. As outlined, the Xenoblade Chronicles series has never been bigger. fans, both new and old, have been hungry for a new entry, and we're getting one in just 5 months. With the majority of Xenoblade's fans hopping aboard in the last 7 years, very few likely played Xenoblade X. This alone makes room for a massive floodgate of series fans who didn't own a Wii U to experience the game for the first time. Also, there's a group of fans out there who enjoyed X on the Wii U but weren't a fan of the more narrative-focused approach of the main trilogy. Xenoblade Chronicles X is different from the rest of the Xenoblade games while still maintaining series staple and core elements. For one, you can create your own character and play as them for the entirety of the game, which isn't possible in any other Xenoblade Chronicles game. Originally, Xenoblade Chronicles X was supposed to have a main character, but around halfway in development, the team realized that they wanted to implement online features, so they made some story rewrites and implemented the customizable main character. Additionally, the mecha elements, while present in other titles like 2, are much more prominent in X. You have the ability to obtain your own mech called a skell, which you can customize to your liking and fly all across the map. That's another key difference. Exploration. Sure, you can explore all kinds of mystical sci-fi environments in every game, but there's a special emphasis placed on the exploration found within Xenoblade Chronicles X. With the skells, you can soar all across the sky, unlocking a scale not quite captured in arguably any other game on the market. It's hard to really look at the video game landscape and point to a game that delivers a world quite like Xenoblade X. Additionally, we also have to consider the potential elements that could have held back sales of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. One that immediately comes to mind is the numbered nature of the title. If you look at Final Fantasy today, many on the outside instantly might think that each game is connected, with there being 16 sequels. It's not too far-fetched to think that something similar could have happened with select players on Xenoblade Chronicles 3, with interested players thinking they had to play Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 before jumping into 3. Now, as we know, you absolutely should play the series in order, or at least each of the entries, but every entry can be played standalone. But that's really where X comes in. If you've never played a Xenoblade game, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition will be a fantastic place to start. Since the game does not directly require knowledge of other Xenoblade entries, you can jump in and understand everything with no caveats. This is great for fans who might have been hesitant to start the Xenoblade series with 2 or 3, as they can experience a game that doesn't directly tie into one another. I've already touched on elements like the character creator, exploration focus, and more, but there is so much here that sets X apart from the rest of the games. The mecha elements of the game truly bring in plenty of interest to this day. Even now, I still see people online asking, "What game is this?" each time someone posts a video of a skell traversing across Mira. Once again, this is not something that is too major of a focus in other Xenoblade titles, so it's safe to say that X Definitive Edition stands a chance to break into a new demographic of players. Another key aspect of X that helps give this entry a unique feel is the soundtrack composed by Hiroyuki Sawano. If you're unfamiliar, Sawano is one of the most well-respected composers in the anime industry, composing scores for series like Attack on Titan, 86, Kill la Kill, Guilty Crown, and so much more. His unique style translates beautifully into the world of Xenoblade X, offering a soundtrack filled with sci-fi epics and plenty of catchy vocal songs. It certainly feels different from Yasunori Mitsuda's work on Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3, but undoubtedly feels very Xeno. Finally, what does this say for the future? With new story content awaiting, something is clearly brewing at Monolith Soft that could have implications for the future. If you remember, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition served more than one purpose. Sure, it was a new Xenoblade title for many and brought an older, inaccessible game to a modern platform, but it also allowed fans of 2 to play the original before Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which directly required knowledge of it in areas, especially with Future Redeemed. That's also not even considering the epilogue Future Connected, which revealed the Fog King and set up many elements later seen in Xenoblade 3. Could this new story content either directly link to Tetsuya Takahashi's next major new RPG title, or even set up a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles X? We'll absolutely have to wait and see, but there has never been a better time to strap in and immerse yourself within the Xenoblade series. Data certainly isn't everything, but as we know, data always tells a story. And with that, we're seeing at bare minimum an announcement that so many people are excited for. If I'm Monolith Soft or Nintendo, this is a fantastic first reaction to what will surely be one of 2025's most exciting titles for many. Time will tell just how successful Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition will be, but if I had to guess, I would not be surprised to see the game become the best-selling Xenoblade title. Could the game sell over 3 million copies? It feels entirely possible to me. As we've touched on today, Monolith Soft is releasing this game to its biggest audience yet, and the demand has been there for the entirety of the Switch's lifecycle. The Xenoblade fanbase is for real, and this remaster will serve as a perfect bridge to Monolith Soft's next chapter. As the Switch turns the clock past 8 years next March, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition will be yet another reminder that the Monolith Soft name is stronger than ever before. Besides the announcement of a potential Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition Collector's Edition, nothing could be better as we sit almost a week after the game's reveal. Thanks for watching episode 2 of our original series Beyond the Conduit, focused on the entire expansive universe of Xeno. Be sure to let us know your thoughts on this exciting release of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition down below, and what your predictions are for that new story content. While we're still working to establish a set schedule for this series, you can expect new episodes quite frequently as we continue to break down this announcement and our personal predictions, as well as discuss aspects from each of the Xeno titles. And in the meantime, keep it right here at Final Weapon for all the latest on the biggest RPGs out there.